guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited for you to meet this week's guest. Travis Judell is doing some amazing things in Holmen School District. It's a district of about 3,000 students. He's a one-person shop. You're going to look at his social media and be like, no way is he a one-person shop. Social media must be all that he does, and it isn't. He has other responsibilities too, but he's going to break down how he runs his social media accounts for his district. And there are some school pages as well, to discuss the impact that social media has made, and then really dig into a couple strategies, Instagram, how he has built a loyal following there, and really sharing some great images, shares the computer the camera he uses, as well as some of the editing techniques that he uses to get those great pictures. He's going to share how he's really built relationships, because he's only been there 3 years, you guys. He's doing some amazing things. And then they had a back to school video go viral. So he's going to share a little bit behind the scenes of how he made that happen. There's so many tips here, and you guys, you definitely want to go out and follow the Holmen School District Facebook page and Instagram page. Okay. And before we get into this week's K-12 PR tip, I get emails and messages all the time, and I'm so grateful. I just got this message from Aaron Grube, maybe from Chagrin Falls School District, just outside of Cleveland. She's the strategic planning and communications coordinator. And she just said, "Hi, I recently started this position. Your podcast and book have been amazing resources as I've been getting off the ground. I swear the knowledge definitely helped me land my job. Your tips are already have already helped me increase our traffic significantly. We are seeing an increase in post engagement, and I'm getting so much positive feedback from teachers for how I'm approaching them to collaborate, and families for finally sharing engaging content. Given what I've learned so far, I know these resources are deeply valued, and I appreciate your consideration." She was just reaching out and asking for an extended offer for a little discount into our membership group. Erin is the perfect person, and you might be too, for our membership group, where we provide even additional support. But the book is out there. This podcast is out there to help you. And if this has helped you at all, share this resource, share these podcasts, share my newsletter, share it with other people who are doing this role. We are definitely better together. I'm learning from each and every one of you every day. And today, I'm excited for you to learn from Travis. So let's get to this week's K-12 PR tip. All right, today's K-12 PR tip is all about Instagram Reels. Now, Travis is going to talk a little bit about some trends that you can definitely take advantage of to connect with your students. But we recently did a huge Instagram Reels Made Easy webinar with my friend Alice Seifert at Matamidi. And when you think about Instagram Reels, it's a short form video content that can be shared on both Instagram and Facebook. Certainly, if you have a TikTok channel, most schools don't. But if you had that, you could share them there as well. But I want you to think about the objective of your Reels, okay? And when you go to make a video, a short form video, there's really 5 categories that you could think about. First is informing or building awareness, kind of like a did you know? Okay. Did you know that we offered this type of program at our school? Okay. Did you know that this, amazing thing is going to be happening? It's an informing or aware, making aware. Second is take action or promote. Think of anything that's a flyer. And instead of having a flyer, you're going to create a video. Okay. So you're really trying to promote it. Third is a connection or a spotlight. You're spotlighting a student, you're spotlighting a staff member, you're spotlighting, something special that a student did or was a part of. So think of a connection or a spotlight. Number 4 is often used. It's a recap. So an event recap. You had a big homecoming event. You had a big program at your school, or a big, let's say it's a career fair, and you can recap that event through a short video. So many people are using those. And then also the fifth one is just joy. It's just to have fun. Okay. And those would be some of those trending things. You guys get strategic when you're thinking about your Instagram reels. And by the way, posting one a week is an awesome goal. Okay. It takes some time to develop what you're going to do. So don't think you have to be sharing those all the time, but there is a direct correlation with the growth and the reach of your pages if you utilize some of this short form content. But don't only think joy and only think recap. Think about those other categories: informing, awareness, or take action or promote, and then those connection and those spotlights. Okay. That is your K-12 PR tip for today. Now let's get into this week's episode with Travis Judell. Good morning, Travis. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, happy to be here.
Yeah, we've got Packers in the background. If any of you are watching this on YouTube, you can see it. Although Holmen is the Vikings.
Holman is the Vikings, yeah. So I get
So
a little crap if I'm wearing like a Vikings things, but I make sure it says Holman Vikings, not just Vikings. So
yeah, I see it behind you. Although that has a V on it. Is his like right behind your shoulder?
yep. So this is like our logo here, and then there's the V. So sometimes it's just the Viking head, and then
Oh.
sometimes it's the V. So
Okay,
um,
because
it
I'm
is
like
basically yeah,
Holman doesn't start with the V, so that's just for the Vikings. I
Viking.
got you. Well, hey, we're really excited. Travis Udell, doing great things in Holmen, Wisconsin. So why don't you share a little bit about your background, Travis, and then tell us a little bit about your role as communication specialist there.
Sure. So I'm from a small town in northern Wisconsin, so I'm going to shout out the school district of Prentice. So I don't know if
Awesome.
anybody has heard of Prentice, but very small town in northern Wisconsin. Glad to have grown up there. A little bit of background for me, I always had an interest in television and sports media and like sports reporting. So I did a job shadow with News Channel 7 in Wausau, Wisconsin in eighth grade. Really liked that. So I went into television, went to college at UW La Crosse for broadcast and digital media with a minor in sports broadcasting.
Okay.
From there, I worked at a local television station during college, WKBT News Channel 8, filming all sorts of sports, your local highlights. We got to cover a lot of Packers, Badgers, Bucks, Brewers, everything. So that was super cool for a college kid to experience. After I graduated college, I got hired full time at the other station in town, WXW. So I was a reporter, photographer there at WXW News 19 in La Crosse from I think 2017 to 2021, kind of doing all sorts of different scopes of covering events all across the region, which was really fun. I had a lot of great memories with that. Then just kind of ready for a career change, settling down, got married, looking to have some kids, had a kid, and looking for a little bit of a career change. And the School District of Holmen had a position open for a communications specialist. This is a new position that they had created coming out of COVID. And having a background in media, I kind of knew a little bit about what it's like to work with a school communications person, having covered different schools, many different schools in the Cooley region. So I was like, I think I'd be a pretty good fit for this and really enjoy it and still be able to, create content and make videos and use my creative side of what I did in news broadcasting for the school realm. So got hired for the School District Holmen as their communication specialist in 2021, and here we are today.
Do you know John Casper from Winona?
I have heard of the name, but I don't think I've officially like met him, but I've heard
Okay.
outstanding things about him. Yeah.
Well, we got to connect you because he has the same background. So he was in sports
Oh,
media
sure.
and
Okay.
journalism and all of that before he came over. And so, anyways, he's been a guest maybe one or two times on this. He's amazing. But I promise after this, I'm going to connect you two because you'd have a lot to talk about. He's all
Yeah.
Packers and Brewers and all of the things as
Good. Good.
well.
Yeah, my wife works in Winona, so
Oh,
I'm very familiar with the Winona area as well. So,
okay, awesome. Well, so are you a one person shop?
yep. Yes.
And how big? Tell me a little bit about Holman, like how many schools do you have? How many students?
Yeah, so we've got about I always struggle with this if I don't have a note of I think it's about 3,000 students or
Okay.
so. And so Division 1 here in Wisconsin, kind of outside of lacrosse. So we've got lacrosse greater area, and there's Onalaska kind of connected, and then Holmen's kind of slowly becoming connected to everything's kind of growing up together. So the greater lacrosse region, we have one high school, one elementary or one middle school, and four elementary schools.
Okay. Awesome. And then how does social media fit into your role?
Yeah, so I was pretty fortunate of, like I said, that no, they didn't have this position before I started. So I think it was super cool for me to be able to kind of create this position into what I wanted it to be. And going into it, I knew that I wanted to make social media one of like my top priorities. So yeah, I would say social media is probably every single day, pretty much every single hour, every single day doing something with social media, whether that's just monitoring what's going on or obviously doing the posting and taking the pictures, editing the pictures, things like that. But so having the focus of social media going into it, knowing that that's something that I wanted to do, it's a huge part of what I do.
And what channels do you run for the district?
So for the district, we have our district Facebook page, School District of Holmen, and our district Instagram, School District of Instagram, or School District of Holmen on Instagram. And we have a YouTube channel. I just post some of the videos that I do on there, not too much. So those are the two main ones that we have, and our elementary schools have their own Facebook pages, in our high school and our middle school. And one of the things I want to highlight was I have a great relationship with our admin assistants over at the elementary schools. They kind of run the elementary pages.
Okay.
Um, and I kind of work with them, oversee them, I guess, a little bit because there's a little bit more content or more communication things to families that go on the elementary pages that we wouldn't necessarily put on the school district page. So
Okay.
I work collaboratively with them, but the main pages I run are the school district pages.
Okay. And then like same with the high school, middle school, it's like an admin assistant that's helping run. They have
Yep.
Facebook, is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And do you pull some content from those pages that end up going sometimes on the district page, or no, you pretty much create everything?
Pretty much create everything for the school district page. If there's like a big event at the elementary schools, or a lot of the times the admin assistants will let me know like, hey, there's this going on. I think it'd be really cool for photos. So then I'll put it out on the district page, and then they'll share it out to the elementary pages just for algorithm things. It reaches a lot more people when it originates from the district page.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can tell that you take most of the pictures. So you guys, I really want you to go and take a look. We've got a link to your Facebook page. We've got a link to your Instagram page. You have an official camera then, like a nice one.
Yeah, I have a Sony A7 III. Yeah.
Sony A7 III, just if you're
Yes.
on the lookout. I just
Can't recommend it. Yeah,
I,
it's amazing.
Yeah, really great pictures. And it's nice to hear. I mean, social media is a priority, and I'm sure that it's made a difference
Definitely.
in the district as well. Any like this is kind of off the cuff, and I don't have this on my little list of questions, so I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
But can you tell me like some of the impact that social media that you feel that it's been able to make in your
Sure.
district, whether it's numbers, whether it's enrollment, whether it's morale, what kind of impact?
Yeah, I would say morale has been one of the big ones. It's as far as community too. There's been many times where I've been out and about at events, and people just personally come up to me and just thank me for like the work that I'm doing and putting out on social media for people to see, which I think is super special that people appreciate that. Because sometimes you can just kind of get lost in cranking out day-to-day content, and then but when somebody comes and says, "Oh, I saw your photos from." The apple orchard trip the other day, and it was really cool. Like they have a student at another school, but this other school was doing the apple orchard, so they got to see what another school in their district was doing, or some people who don't even have kids come up and say it's just cool to follow along and see the amazing things. So the community morale and just being able to share the stories that are happening every single day has been super special. And when you get somebody in the community, like I said, who comes and stops you and says they appreciate what you're doing, and it's super special.
Yeah, absolutely. What other responsibilities beyond social media? Like, do you have two or three other priorities that are kind of in your role as a communication specialist?
Yeah, sure. So basically, it's everything communications that communications person would be doing, whether that's crisis communications, internal communications, external communications to the community, referendum campaigns, um, school safety is a big thing, part of all the school safety teams and the district safety team.
Yep.
Really been hammering those things and staff communications, kind of, and also working very closely with the district administrator. Um, in kind of sharing her messages and crafting messages for her and sharing out to staff and community and newsletters. And so, aside
Okay.
from social media, there's all those other communication things that we do.
Yeah, and I'm sure you help do the website updates too.
Yes, yep,
Okay. So I just wanted people to know, even though the social media is like beautiful and you guys might be like, oh yeah, that must be all he focuses on. No, it
right.
isn't.
Yes,
Travis is a little bit of a Superman there with all you're doing. And you had a really fun back to school video that I
yeah,
think has over 185,000 views now or something. I just checked it
yep.
this morning. So tell me a little bit about this back to school video.
Sure. So the back to school video is kind of something that we do every single year. So we kind of create a fun, we have like a big like back to school kind of kickoff celebration, and every year part of it is just like a video. And my superintendent gives me kind of the free reign to just create something that I think is gonna do well in the community and get a good laugh out of staff. So in 2022, my first one we did kind of a 22, we did like a back to school rap, sort of had people lip sync like a rap song, which was a huge hit. 2023, we did like a longer form, kind of like how are we feeling type video where um had everyone act out different, the admin team act out like how are they feeling going back to school? And it was really funny. Kind of got an idea off of YouTube. And then this 2024 one was a back to school, so another back to school song because the 2022 back to school rap was a huge hit. So I was like, I'm gonna go back to kind of a song. So I get our district leadership team involved. It's all of our leadership team members. Found the idea on YouTube out of an Old Navy commercial, and I was like, saw it in my head. I was like, yeah, I bet we can act this out. We can do it. So kind of put all the script into a Google document, assigned it to different people, and yeah, give a huge shout out to my leadership team because um, I'm making the video correct choreographically, but without them going all out, like for the acting, if you watch it, they went all out for me, and they're just such good sports that they just take my crazy idea and run with it. And I'm like, you gotta trust me, you gotta trust me. This maybe we're doing 100 takes here, we're gonna get the best one, but it's gonna be worth it, and everybody's gonna love it. So yeah, it's been pretty cool.
That's awesome. How soon do you have to start creating that? Is it like almost right after school gets out so that you can be ready or?
Our back to school this year was like August 19th, around that time. I started in early August, so
Okay.
um yeah, having like a media background as far as like being able to create videos quickly is I can do that. I can handle that. So
Yeah.
it kind
Was
of
it was this a song that you made up or was it just an existing song that they lip synced to?
they lip synced to an existing song that was on YouTube, and it was an Old Navy commercial, I believe. I think they ran kind of like a back to school campaign for Old Navy, and so early August, I was like, oh, I need to come up with something because I didn't really have any ideas, and just started browsing around on YouTube for like back to school songs, and then yeah, this Old Navy one came on, and I was like, oh, that's catchy too. First off, you listen to it, it's a catchy song, and it talks about we're going back to school and excitement and yeah.
And then how long did it take you to film it? Did you break it down into a couple days or?
Yeah. Yep. A couple days worked with like I said, it was all our leadership team members. So checked with their schedules, hey, looking to film, gonna come over to the middle school today. When are you three guys available to act out your parts? So I think it took about a week and a half to get everybody's like parts together. And then that final week was kind of crunch time of, putting it all together and matching it up and throwing some extra edits in there and just trying to make it fun. So,
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, at the time when I put my notes together, it had over 6,000 likes, 900 comments, 400 shares.
yeah.
So obviously good. And it's impressive that you got the idea. I mean, right kind of at the beginning of August, which is always good because sometimes you can get ideas and by the time you use them, it might not
Mhm.
be really in anymore, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So it just kind of came to you. So switching gears just a little bit with your Instagram account. So
Yeah.
you do a really great job with your Instagram channel.
Thank you.
It looks beautiful. The pictures are amazing and you've got reels on there. What is your secret and kind of your approach to Instagram?
So Instagram is where we get all the students. So that's
Yeah.
where all the students are at. The students are at, when I talk to a lot of the students, like, do you see the Facebook post? They're like, no, we don't have Facebook. So Instagram, I started this, my first year here, didn't have an Instagram account. And I was like, I feel like I'm really missing like a big key target group. So I was like, I'm just going to start an Instagram account. I think I went to a football game, and then from there, just kind of people started reposting and tagging, and the word kind of spread. So one of the big keys and tricks is, tagging the students, getting them to repost the photos. Just really engagement with the students. They see me at an event, and they're like, they see me with the camera, and they're like, take a picture of me for the Instagram. Like they want to see themselves on those 10 featured photos. So they really want to see themselves on there when they see me with the camera. So just engaging with them, like, yeah, hey, maybe you will see yourself on there. You got to go make sure you follow, like, repost, encouraging them to share it to their story. One of the coolest things I think is when I put a post out there and then you get the notifications of, like, 85 people shared this to their story as well. So they're sharing our post out to their network as well. So I've been fortunate that the students are very engaged with the Instagram and repost the content because they want to see their pictures on there. I think they also really enjoy highlighting their school, which is super awesome. So, and like you said, the high quality photos, they love to have great pictures of themselves to share
Right.
out with people. So
Yeah, they're really good. So you talk about tagging the students. Are you tagging like clubs or are you tagging individual account like people's individual accounts?
no, not their individual, unless it's like a student goes to, like, this morning I'll be putting one out. One of our golfers is heading to state, so I'll put a post out and tag her
Okay.
individually. So she will see it, but like not individually, just tagging like all the people in the photos, unless it's like the group, like a football game, we'll tag Holmen football shares it out, Holmen
Okay.
wrestling, golf, all those different pages as well. And then I also, when I put it on my story, I include a link to not only just the 10 photos that we can feature, is a link to all photos. So it's another way for them to go see. Maybe they saw me with the camera and then I picked my 10 best ones. They're not necessarily in that 10 featured, but in our story, there's a link to our Google Drive link of all the folders and then the pictures of, so they could find themselves and save it, a nice high quality photo. So,
Okay. So you've got a Google Drive. That's where you put all of the images. You're
yep.
saying 10 now. You know you can put up to 20 in there now. So,
Yeah, you're gonna have to show me how to do that. I can't figure that out.
well, do you post most of them through Meta Business Suite?
No, no.
Post them right on Instagram?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, right in the Instagram app, you should be able to go up to 20 now instead of just
Hmm.
10. But
I'll have to check. Yeah, I've seen some of my friends be able to put more than 10 pictures, and I'm like, how do you do this? And they're like, I was just able to do it. And I'm like, well, I can't do that. So I
yeah,
don't know. I'll have to,
well, right after this, I'll share my after we stop recording, I'll share my screen and we'll see if you can then try it. I'm not sure,
sure.
but I know that anybody listening, if you are posting through Meta Business Suite, for some reason they still only let you do 10, even though Instagram does now allow up to 20, if you're posting over there on Instagram as well as maybe Facebook. Do you
Yeah.
post a lot of those same high quality pictures on Facebook as well?
Yeah. So everything that so all the photos go on Facebook. It's usually, I go to an event, probably take 400, 500, and then pick my best 10, 15, 20. I think like the zone that I go for is about 20 or so. I
Okay.
feel like that's been effective. So those 20 or 25 will go on Facebook, and then I'll pick the best 10 that I like the most for Instagram, and and then all of them go in that story. But yeah, so
Do do all of the like the Google Drive, if you took 400 pictures an event, do you put all 400 in that or you take those
no.
25 or 30 pictures?
Yep, just the 25 or
Okay.
30 pictures. 25, 30 of my favorite best ones. So
Okay. And
nobody
then
has time to look through 400 pictures.
yeah, yeah, I know. It's so hard. So what about in the folder, is it a Google Drive just to that event, or is your Google Drive like to a spot where then you have folders for all different events?
That the link will go to just that event.
Okay.
In my Google Drive, though, I have like a 24, 25 school year and then all those photos. But the links that go on Instagram are just to,
Yeah.
that event. So
Okay.
Global School Play Day, here's the link, and then it goes to the folder with the 25 or whatever photos from that event.
Okay. Awesome. And so you're not monetizing that at all. I mean, I know some people put them on a spot where maybe they could download them for a fee or something like that. You don't do that. Um,
No,
but I
no.
bet there's people that are clicking those links in those stories, right?
Definitely, yeah, I see, and I can see kids that have saved their, well, I can't see it, but like just looking around on social media, I've seen that they save a photo that was in that folder and then it's on there as their profile picture or something, or they post it on their personal account as part of their, homecoming recap or something like that.
Yeah. So I can tell, Travis, that you've really, I mean, you haven't worked there that long. I mean, 3 years. And it really sounds like you've developed some really great relationships with
Yes.
your staff and with your students. Do
Mhm.
you have any tips or how you kind of approach that coming in? Was that just a skill set that you had because you were a reporter, so you were used to? But I mean, everything kind of comes down to building those good relationships. So, what tips would you have?
Yeah, I would say that you kind of hit on it there. I'm able to, or I was put in many situations in the news world of just having to talk with people or schmooze with people a big room of people that you don't know to kind of just interview them or talk to them or get them to share their story. So like storytelling just has always been a huge part of what I do. And then I think since they didn't have this position before when I started and then they saw what I was putting out there, everybody was like, oh, wow, this is worth it. This is cool. Like I want him to come to my classroom. I want him to be at my events to share this stuff out there. So I just think kind of the work kind of spoke for itself and word got out there and then teachers and staff and students are like, wow, this is really cool. I'd like to be a part of this somehow. So then ideas just start come flying into me and I have a hard time saying no to anybody. So anytime something comes in, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's rock with it. Let's roll with it. Let's make it happen. So
Right.
um yeah.
Well, what are some of the best stories that you've been able to share? We got to share a fun video that you got to put together, and obviously you talked about some of the events you go to. Is there a story or two that really sticks out that you've been able to share?
Sure. So, well, one that did really well last year, which was super cool, was we had a father versus son wrestling duel, first ever in Holmen. So, went and took pictures of the dads wrestling their kids. So that was a super cool story that reached many, many people, hundreds of thousands of people. So it got shared like wrestling people in like California were sharing it and all across the country. So that was a cool thing to not only see dads wrestle their sons and like try to compete and just the size difference, things like that. That was fun. Um,
Was
every
that a
year,
video then, Travis?
pictures
Just
from the event.
pictures. Okay.
Yeah, just pictures. They told the story and yeah, it was super cool. And we had
Okay.
like our activities director does a really good job like kind of hyping up events. So we had like fog machines and light shows and so it made for some really cool pictures.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, that is awesome.
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna link to that.
Yeah,
And
that
I
went
love
really
that
cool.
too because it was kind of it gave other maybe communities ideas,
Yeah.
and so they're like, hey, this would be really neat.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot more people doing that this year because of, seeing what we did there.
Yeah.
Year I also go on like a hiking trip to Devil's Lake with like our one of our adventure PE groups. So in the years past, I did a video with that, and this year I just did pictures. Last year I just did pictures, and um, it's a really cool class that kind of shares a lot about like getting involved with outdoors and inclusivity. There's a lot of kids with special needs and also some of our, higher athletes that kind of work closely, and just to see the groups come together and build relationships and help each other out, like climbing the rocks and there at Devil's Lake, it's super special. So sharing things like that. Last week, story came across my desk of a school bus driver in Holmen, drives past this lady's house who decorates um, her house every year with Halloween stuff, and the kids on the bus like really like it. So the school bus driver was like, "I'm gonna collect ideas from our kids on the bus." So she got all ideas and then hand delivered them to that lady's house. And now this year, for the entire Halloween season, she's going to be like every week she decorates her house differently, like little skeletons. So she's going to use the kids' ideas from the school bus to decorate the skeletons because they drive past it every single day and get a kick out of it. So just little things that come across like that that I would never know about, and I'm just happy to be able to share such cool stories like that out to thousands of people every post. So
That's awesome. Okay, well, we'll get links to all three of those posts after
sure.
this so I can include it in the show notes. What would you say is your best social media tip?
Best social media tip I would say is posting content very timely. So one of the things that I think that makes it very successful here in Holman is, I'll use football game as an example. Football games ends on Friday night. I have those pictures up on Instagram, all the edited ones on Instagram and Facebook, probably within a half hour of the game ending. So people aren't waiting for their stuff for the next day, where it could be old news. Or I go to a school event, um, within an hour, if time allows, or definitely within that day, depending on scheduling and things like that. Sometimes we put things later at night just for time, but things are always in chronological order of what they happen and very quickly. So sometimes, like I said, things can become old news, and I think it goes back to my media crunch, my media background, always just on a time crunch. And it's like, let's get content out and let's get it out quickly. So, students are just amazed, like homecoming, every single event there was like 8 or 9 events during the day. The event ended, their tug of war contest, within like 10 minutes, the pictures of the students doing the tug of war contest was on Instagram. So they come up, they're like, "How are you doing this?" I'm like, "It's just magic. It's magic of the show. Repost them."
Yeah.
So
So you come back to your computer, download those off your phone, or do you somehow are you able to post off your phone or off your camera? No.
So I have my laptop here that I just carry in a backpack with me, and then I've got my camera, my SD card, pop it into my laptop, open up Lightroom. I've gotten pretty quick at editing the pictures, export them, and then put them out there. So it's kind
Okay.
of like a mobile editing office wherever I am. So
Yeah, and you use Lightroom. We've done some
yes.
training on that in our membership group. So do you use a similar filter for all your pictures then?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to be presenting at the Whisper conference about kind of photo editing in Lightroom and things like that, and I'll share some more tips and tricks about it. But there was like a YouTuber that I found who had like a package preset, and so I've got like multiple different package presets. So you use that as a base and then kind of build off there, because everything kind of has a cohesive look, but sometimes something looks better outside, sometimes something looks better inside. It all depends on lighting. But yeah, it's preset filters, but then you kind of touch them up from there. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're gonna know that because when you look at Travis's Instagram page, you're gonna be able to see the difference that it makes. And I'll be at Whisper, so maybe I'll be able to attend that
sure, a
session
little
and learn.
nervous about that one, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh my gosh. Well, Travis, like you're doing the work, so you just share a little
True,
bit about what you do, and it's
true.
it's going to be really, really helpful to a lot of people. So thanks for leaning into that. Have you ever
Yeah.
presented before?
I did at the as part of the academy that the Donovan group did. So I
Oh,
had a little bit of session with on video stuff, but that was my
awesome.
first one. I didn't watch the video back because I felt they went wrong.
It's it's going to be the first of many, Travis, because you're
Yeah,
doing really good work. And you know what? People appreciate real people. I mean, obviously you've got a lot of years into the training that you have, but the tips you're going to be able to share are going to be really valuable. So
hope so.
the listeners here, if they want to get connected with you or reach out, what's the best way to do that?
I want to share one more tip that I
Oh,
forgot to
okay,
touch
yeah.
on real quick. I would say one thing that I've lately been doing that has been fun is trying different trendy videos. Like I did like October 3rd was the other day. So if you've seen the Mean Girls clip where the guy, turns around and he on October 3rd, he asked me what day it is. So it's kind of seems silly in a way to do these different trendy things, but it was all over national news. Like October 3rd is a big Mean Girls day. So I had our principal and our assistant principal just kind of act out that scene. Um, and put it out on Instagram for the students. They love to see that stuff. That's what they're getting every single day on their TikTok. So just to kind of see their admin in kind of like not a so serious role, kind of a fun role and things that they see every day. We did um, the old picture challenge. If you've seen that one where the students bring or someone brings an old picture of themselves and say, "Hey, can you sign that?" So I brought an old picture of like our principal and our assistant principals and was like, "Hey, can you guys sign this?" And they open it up and have a reaction because it's an old picture of them from high school that I found on their Facebook pages. And it's just been really fun to do those things. Later this week, I'm doing the with the choir that the game where the ball kind of goes through the do re mi thing, where you got to kind of match the pitch and go through there. So I was like, that'd be kind of fun to do with our choir and see how they do. And if they mess up, it's funny, it's cool, and they like to see themselves on the Instagram. So just it was a little scary, I guess, trying these things, but they've been a hit. So, and on Facebook too, everybody loves it. We got a couple parent emails that it's like it's just really cool to see the admin kind of in a different light in a way. So,
Yeah.
just trying different things. Social media is social media, and those things that you see out there trending, you can apply those to acting them out with your admin stuff. So it's fun.
Yeah, and it's different. It's not like you're just copying everybody else because it's your students or it's your staff that are doing
Yeah.
it. And
Yep.
kids enjoy seeing that. So I love that. Yeah, I was watching some of those videos actually before we started, and I'm not a big Mean Girls person, and so I was like, I didn't really get it.
Oh,
But
okay.
there's a lot of things I don't get because I'm 46, and these kids. So I'm just glad that you're leaning into these things that the kids relate to, and getting some good feedback.
I
That's
recommend watching the original Mean Girls. It's super good. You'd really like it. It's a good movie.
I know that I watched it years and years ago,
Sure.
so it's probably time to
Yep.
it's almost time for a new show for my husband and I. Maybe we'll watch Mean Girls. Um okay, so yeah, trying out some of those top trending videos and doing that and just having fun. And
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
have fun with your social media, it helps build those relationships, right? It builds those connections, and then they're going to see some of the other stories that you were
Hmm.
talking about too, and get good engagement from those. So that's really powerful.
Definitely.
Um, okay, so now are we good to share
Sure.
some
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
connection? So what's the best way to stay connected to your email address, or what would you say?
Yeah, you could email me, or I would say LinkedIn. I share a lot of pretty much if I'm at an event, and I'll put my photos on LinkedIn as well and kind of share what's going on. So just give me a follow, Travis Judell on LinkedIn. Check it out. You'll see the pictures. That's probably the best place. Also, just follow along. Got to do a shameless plug to follow the School District of Holmen on Facebook and Instagram. So
Yeah.
get some inspiration from us, maybe, or just check out some of the pictures. Come see me at the Fall Whisper Conference, Wisconsin School Public Relations Association in the Dells. Come listen to me talk about some photo editing and some tips and tricks. And I know there's a lot of people out there that take really great photos, and just if I could share one little chunk for you, that's the goal. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think you're going to get a lot of follows because you really are doing some great things. And my one of my team members, my director of operations, lives in near Holmen. Where is
Okay.
she? And she follows your page, and so she's like,
Sure.
it's really, really good stuff.
Awesome.
And so, anyways, I'm really glad that I got to have you on the show. So thanks for
Yeah.
joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, keep up the great work, and everybody, if definitely check out these pages, reach out to Travis if you have additional questions, and we will see you back here next week with another great guest. Keep telling those stories, you guys. Bye-bye.